Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Rhea Ripley has explained her issues with Bianca Belair. The two stars have had multiple physical confrontations over the past few weeks. Mamie lost her Women's World Championship to Io Sky on the March 3 episode of Raw after she and the EST of WWE got into a shoving contest. Last week, the former Judgment Day member interfered in Bianca and Io's in-ring segment. In the latest episode of Raw, she interfered again during their contract signing, attacked both stars and signed her name on the contract. Speaking to Sam Roberts on Raw Recap, Rhea Ripley said she's mad at Bianca Belair for being at ringside during her title defense instead of watching the match from backstage. She believes this cost her the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley asked Adam Pearce on Raw to make the match a triple threat. The general manager refused, despite her signature being on the contract. It'll be interesting to see how things transpire. The wrestling world had always been known for its larger-than-life personalities, jaw-dropping feats of athleticism, and the occasional backstage drama that had fans buzzing with intrigue. But recently, one story had been dominating the headlines. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, two of the most dominant female competitors in WWE, seemed to be at odds, and the tension between them was palpable. The fans had speculated, the media had reported, but no one really knew what was at the core of the animosity between these two stars. That is, until Rhea Ripley sat down for an exclusive interview to reveal the real reason behind her anger toward Bianca Belair. The scene opened in an intimate setting, a dimly lit room with a single chair facing a camera. Rhea Ripley, known for her intensity and unapologetic persona, sat in front of the camera, her eyes piercing through the lens. She had always been a woman of few words, letting her actions speak louder than anything she could say. But today, it was different. She was going to let the world know the truth, and it wasn't just about the typical rivalry between two top athletes. There was a much deeper story waiting to be told. The interviewer, a seasoned journalist who had worked with many WWE superstars, sat across from Rhea, visibly aware of the gravity of the moment. She began the conversation with a simple question that had been on everyone's mind. Interviewer: Rhea, we've seen you and Bianca clash on multiple occasions, but there seems to be more to it than just a rivalry between two competitors. Can you tell us what's really going on? Rhea's expression remained stoic as she leaned forward slightly, her piercing gaze never leaving the camera. There was a hint of frustration in her eyes, as if the answer had been building up for far too long. Rhea Ripley: it's not just about winning matches or being the best. Hell, I've been in this business long enough to know that the competition is tough, and everyone wants to prove themselves. But what Bianca doesn't understand, what she refuses to understand, is that she's been standing in my shadow for far too long, and I'm done letting her get away with it. The interviewer raised an eyebrow, sensing the venom in Rhea's words but not quite understanding the full scope of what she was saying. Interviewer: standing in your shadow? You're both incredibly talented and have had your own fair share of success. What exactly do you mean by that? Rhea took a deep breath, her fingers tapping against the chair in a rhythmic pattern as if gathering her thoughts before delivering the punchline. Rhea Ripley: you see, Bianca, she's been given the spotlight, handed every opportunity on a silver platter. She's been lauded as the future of the division, the EST of WWE. And don't get me wrong, I respect her for what she's done. She's talented, no doubt. But Bianca's success has always been easy. She's had everything handed to her, while I've had to claw and fight for every inch of recognition. The words hit hard, like a punch to the gut. The interviewer was taken aback by the raw emotion in Rhea's voice. Interviewer: so you're saying that Bianca's success has come easier for her than it did for you? Rhea nodded, her face tightening with frustration. Rhea Ripley: exactly. You think I haven't been watching? Bianca's rise to the top was practically handed to her. She was put in high-profile matches early on, got the big wins, and had all the right people behind her. Meanwhile, I was stuck fighting tooth and nail, being overlooked by the same people who were too busy praising Bianca for simply showing up. No one cared about my struggles, my sacrifices. I wasn't the EST. I wasn't the one with the fancy catchphrase, and I sure as hell wasn't the one getting the spotlight. But I didn't let that stop me. I built my own path to the top, even when they didn't believe in me. Rhea paused, her voice trembling slightly, but the fire in her eyes never wavered. She wasn't finished. Rhea Ripley. But here's the thing, Bianca. She thinks she's the only one who has worked hard. She thinks that because she's got the accolades and the championships, she's automatically the face of the division. She's never had to deal with what I've had to go through. She doesn't know what it's like to be dismissed, to be written off as just another talent. She doesn't know what it's like to fight for your spot, to prove yourself every single time you step into that ring. And that's where the real issue lies. Bianca doesn't respect me. She never has. The room fell silent for a moment as the weight of Rhea's words sank in. The interviewer, sensing that Rhea was opening up in a way she hadn't before, decided to dig deeper. Interviewer, you've talked about respect. Do you think that Bianca intentionally disrespects you, or is this more about a difference in mindset? Rhea's jaw clenched, and she leaned back in her chair, her gaze never leaving the interviewer's face. Rhea Ripley, it's both. Bianca doesn't realize how hard I've had to fight for every opportunity, and that lack of recognition is what really drives me up the wall. She walks around like she's the queen of the world, but she hasn't faced the kind of adversity that I have. I've been underestimated, I've been doubted, but I'm still here. I'm not just here to take part, I'm here to take over. And Bianca, she's in my way. The intensity of the moment was undeniable. Rhea Ripley, the powerhouse with a fierce attitude and an unwavering belief in her own abilities, had laid her heart on the table. But the story wasn't over yet. There was more to this tale of animosity than anyone could have imagined. Interviewer, you mentioned that Bianca was put in high-profile matches early on. Do you feel like that's where the tension started? Rhea's eyes flickered with a mix of bitterness and regret. Rhea Ripley, yeah, that's exactly where it started. Bianca had her chance to shine early on, and I was left fighting for scraps. But I wasn't going to let that stop me. I knew what I was capable of, and I wasn't going to let anyone tell me I wasn't good enough. But then, after all the hard work I put in, when I finally got my shot to prove myself, there she was again, getting all the attention. It was like they had forgotten about everything I had done up until that point. And that's when the resentment started to build. It wasn't just about the matches anymore. It was about the constant feeling of being overlooked. Rhea's voice softened for a moment, as if reflecting on the pain of those moments. But just as quickly as it had come, the fire reignited in her. Rhea Ripley, and you know what? I'm sick of it. I'm done being the afterthought. I've worked my ass off, and I'm not going to let anyone, especially Bianca, take that away from me. I'm not going to sit in the back and watch someone else take what should be mine. If I have to tear down anyone who gets in my way, then that's exactly what I'll do, because I've earned this. The interviewer nodded, clearly understanding the passion in Rhea's words. This wasn't just a rivalry. It was a battle for respect, for recognition, and for a place in the spotlight that Rhea felt had been denied to her for far too long. Interviewer, Rhea, it's clear that this rivalry is personal. But with all the tension between you and Bianca, do you see any chance of reconciliation in the future? Rhea's eyes narrowed, her expression hardening once again. Rhea Ripley, reconciliation? I don't know if that's possible. Bianca has made it clear that she's more concerned with her own spotlight than with respecting the people who helped pave the way for her. And that's something I can't forget. But I'm not worried about what Bianca does anymore. I'm focused on myself. I'm focused on taking what's mine. If Bianca gets in my way, so be it. But I'm not holding my breath for any kind of apology or understanding from her. The interviewer paused for a moment, sensing the finality in Rhea's tone. It was clear that Rhea Ripley had no intention of backing down. The animosity between her and Bianca Belair wasn't just about professional competition. It was about a deep-seated frustration, a desire for respect that had gone unacknowledged for far too long. Interviewer: Rhea, thank you for being so open with us today. Your story is one that many people will resonate with, and I'm sure the fans will be eager to see how this rivalry continues to unfold. Rhea nodded, her expression softening ever so slightly as she stood up from her chair. Rhea Ripley, you're welcome. Just know this, when it's all said and done, I'll be the one standing at the top. And no one, not even Bianca, is going to stop me. As Rhea Ripley walked off the set, the interviewer watched her go, knowing that this was far from over. The wrestling world would soon be watching to see how the rivalry between Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair played out. And with Rhea's fiery determination, it was clear that this was a battle that would not be easily won by either side. End of story. This fictional piece delves into the psyche of Rhea Ripley, exploring her feelings about Bianca Belair and the reasons behind the perceived rivalry. It blends competition, respect, and personal frustrations, creating a narrative that fans of both superstars might find intriguing. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.